There we are. Let's see if this is working. This working just fine. Okay, we have sound and we can get to business. That's a lot of ceiling and a bit of a weird angle you're getting there, isn't it? Let's see what we can do about that. And then we're going to get started, friends. I think this is just turned up. A bit too much. This is probably slightly better. Let's see. A bit more light. And here we go. And who's on chat already? Let's see. Good morning. Jacob Weikert. Hi. Said hi back. Thanks for dropping by saying hi. Hope you're doing well where you're at in the world. I hope life's treating you well. And we are going to get started. It's 7 minutes past 6 in the morning. For those of you who are watching, my name is Toby. I am 41 years old and I train to live an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. I do so by minding my sleep. I try to get between 7 and 9 hours in a night. Yesterday I hit 7 hours and 2 minutes of sleep, 7 hours of 47 hours and 47 minutes of rest apparently. But it wasn't good sleep according to my watch because it was interrupted at night. I actually spent 30 minutes or something lying in bed reading as well. There was some noise outside the house that woke me up. That happens sometimes, but still a good score, and one that I am happy with, as I hope that it will get me through the day just fine. I think there are a lot of pollen in the air, so I'm going to have to take a antihistamine tablet in a moment, as I think it's going to cause me to sneeze throughout the day, and I guess that's a part of having hay fever, but that's not what we're talking about. I also try to mind what I eat for health and fitness. I take the hay fever medicine also for for my health and fitness, but that's a different reason. I'm going to try to mind what I eat. I try to eat within my energy balance, which is around 2200 calories, give or take. I'm pretty sure I eat a little bit more than that, but that also is kind of averaged out probably a bit by the active lifestyle that I have, but that is the goal. Like, I don't try to go too far above that, and especially not to overindulge every day. And most of the meals that I have are relatively healthy, clean, and lean, so to speak, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I try to eat sufficient proteins to hit my strength and muscle building goals. So I try to hit, around 80 grams of protein or 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. And on the training days themselves, I try to hit a bit more than that, about 100 grams of protein, just to make sure that my body has the right kind of fuel and sufficient fuel to actually build the muscles that I think I require in terms of the activity and the active lifestyle that I have. I try to spend time with my friends and family, and I try to do things that I generally enjoy. So if you're interested in any of those things, you go ahead and subscribe to my channel. All right, we can continue this conversation. This morning's workout is going to be mobility, so that's what you're interested in. You've come to the right place. It is Saturday. After this, I'm going to do a quick podcast, and then we're going to go out for a walk with the weighted fist. But right now, I'm just going to hit the timer, and we are going to get started. What's my workout split? That's a great question. You mean in terms of how many days a week I train, and in terms of what I train on those days? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is kettlebell. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is mobility. Sunday is usually a run or a slightly longer walk. The kettlebell is always full body. Monday, Wednesday, strength and conditioning. Friday, heavy strength. So lifting heavier, more repetitions, more sets, trying to create that overload. And Wednesday evening, I also do judo. So that's what my week looks like. If that answers your question, I hope it does. And thanks for asking. And I hope you can hear me well. The microphone is for the other stream on my channel. That is a how should I put it? The one that stays on the channel permanently. So we're going to start with mobility. And we're going to just nice and easily ease into this full body routine. Focus on our breathing. Make sure that we are moving well and that our body is doing what we want it to do for the day. This is all relatively straightforward and easy to do. But as with any exercise program, right, just make sure you talk to a doctor before you start. Make sure you are cleared for physical activity. And in case of any pain or any discomfort or any other issues, immediately cease the activity and make sure that the feeling goes away. If it does not, see a medical professional immediately. All right? So, I have to leave. Nice seeing your stream. Keep it work. Thanks for dropping by, saying hi. I appreciate you dropping by. Take care, and be back sometime. All right? So, health and fitness after 40. It's a thing, right? I think, put up a post yesterday. I'll put up a post later today in the community, so check that out. Where, I share with you what I snacked on yesterday, and I just really had the urge at the end of the day to have crisps and a Coca-Cola. Thankfully, I only had half the bag of crisps. So that's maybe 250 calories there. And small-sized Coke, 150 calories. But on top of a lot of the other things that had already been eaten throughout the day, right before dinner. So, I just want to go out and highlight that happens, and that should be okay when that happens, because I don't do it every day. If once in a while we feel like having that fizzy drink packed with sugars and that snack that is salty, greasy, and fatty, and it is literally once in a while, so not once a week, like once a month. That is not going to wreak havoc on our metabolism and our health. If it becomes a daily or weekly occurrence, that is where we want to sit back, take a look at the big picture, and understand how weekly habits, especially in terms of food and junk food, work against us and our health in the long run. And I think that's the one that we might want to keep in mind and consider as well that once in a while, right, and I have to go out and buy this stuff. We don't keep it in the house. Once in a while, something like that is completely fine. Good morning, YouTube punk. Thanks for dropping by, saying hi. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. And once in a while, a bit of anything can't hurt. It is the too much of anything that becomes a problem or problematic, because too much of anything means that we are overdoing it. But that's also true for walking or running or anything that we might consider doing. We just need to be mindful of that. Toby, lollipop sodas? No, we don't. It's like root beer and cream. Ooh, no, we don't have that in the Netherlands. That sounds like, coffee from Starbucks, which is more milk and sugary substance than it is coffee in a way. But it sounds ridiculously tasty at the same time. So, no, we don't have it, but if I ever get to the States, I will definitely check it out. It's kind of like the same with sandwiches, right? Like, we don't have McAllister's. I don't know if that's still a thing. It was a thing 20 years ago. But McAllister's had great sandwiches. Oh boy. I love going there and eating those sandwiches. Or maybe we do have them in the Netherlands, but I just don't know about them because I'm a regular Coca-Cola kind of guy. So, back to the topic, staying fit and healthy in our 40s, right? It's this interplay between how much we move, how active we are, how well we sleep, and the kind of foods we eat. And at one point, it's just the fact that you can't cut it by cheating with one of the three. So if you really want to get fit and healthy, and that is a goal that you want to pursue, then it is inevitable that you begin to take more serious sleep, food, movement. And movement is as much about training, even though that is also going to be very limited, maybe 2 or 3 moments a week, as it is this is much about training as it is about simply being able to move throughout the day. Right? You just need to find that 30 minutes, 60 minutes of movement. And you just need to figure out how you can fit that in to your day. It doesn't have to be all at once. It can be 10 times 6 minutes or 20 times 3 for all I care. As long as in total, we're just going to continue with the cat and cow here. As long as in total you work towards that 60 minutes of activity throughout the day. Not even intense. Just moving, as in not sitting. You know, like that moment where you sit down to watch your favorite TV show in the evening. How about we cut off one episode and instead, right? Instead, we focus on doing 20 to 30 minutes of exercise. There, just light walking in place, sidestepping, light step aerobics for 20 or 30 minutes before you sit down to watch your TV and have your snacks. What about 15 minutes even, or just 10? You know? That's like, make it incredibly doable. Why not just 10? You think that's possible? And you think that is within the realm of possibilities. And I think we need to find more moments like that in our day, like taking the stairs at the office, just climbing up 7, 8, 9, 10 flights of stairs. And the reason for that is to very simply try to develop the habit of moving more, right? So we want to sleep better, we want to eat better, and we want to move better. I think it's incredibly important for us to just keep in mind that it is absolutely abnormal to sit as much as we do, to be as inactive as we are, and to have so much food available to us every day. Okay, that is what is not normal. I think we need to reconsider our strategies and our tactics in terms of the kinds of rhythms that we keep throughout the day, the kinds of foods that we eat. And how that translates into our ability to actually stay fit and healthy over time. Because a lot of things that we want in terms of our health and fitness are relatively straightforward and we are probably quite capable of achieving them. We just need to make sure that we are mindful and aware of these things. Justin, thanks for dropping by, saying hi. Hope you're doing well. I appreciate you dropping by and giving me the support. I hope you're having a good day where you're at. That's nice. People are finding me on the different streams. So, when it comes to health and fitness, I guess it also is important to understand the image of ourselves that we have in terms of being fit and healthy. And what I mean by that is, I would like you to consider what you think fit and healthy looks like. Is that someone like me with like a 20% body fat level who works out daily, is relatively active, mindful of his food? Or is that someone who can deadlift 200 kilos, can squat 200 kilos, can bench press 200 kilos, huge bulging muscles, is lean, minus 10%, less than 10% body fat, and his body is hard as a rock. You can see every muscle and every vein, and who looks like they could be on the cover of a magazine. And the reason I'm asking is because understanding what it's going to take to get to where I'm at, and then to where someone with that level of physical leanness and fitness, muscle mass is. And it's probably going to help put some things into perspective. So if you are like me and you're somewhat mindful of what you eat, are not dieting into any extremes here, right? And you're moving sufficiently throughout the week. You train 2 to 3 times a week, not super heavy, but just sufficient to give your body a bit of a stimulus to keep it fit and healthy. Yeah. Then you sleep well. This is more or less what you can expect with a time investment like that. Okay. So, it's just important to keep in mind and to realize that the additional effort, discipline, and maybe to an extent sacrifice that it is going to take to reach a certain level of leanness, a certain level of muscle mass, might not be what you're after. But if that is the image you have of yourself when you're fit and healthy, if that is what in your mind, in your desire, fitness looks like to you, then whenever you fall short of that ideal, right, you're going to have a problem. Because you're going to feel like you're not getting to where you need to be despite all of your efforts. We're just going to hang out here for 30 more seconds, by the way. Just chilling, relaxing, having fun. Let's see if we can maintain this with out the weight. Ooh. Starting to feel that in my calves. Just a nice, comfortable, deep squat. And up. Ay, 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 ay. Mobility at 41. It's a thing, right? Twist those ankles. So we want good ankle mobility. So the discrepancy between the image you have of what health and fitness might look like and what health and fitness actually is, right, is important. Now, keep in mind that I would love to get down to 15% body fat, but I naturally gravitate to around this area. So with all of the effort that I do, this is where my body is at. And I break through this. To lean out, I would have to severely calorie restrict or increase output, both of which are forms of stress, mentally, physically, from which I'd need to recover. And given the fact that I'm not paid to look a certain way, given the fact that I have a job to do throughout the day, given the fact that I prefer things to be fun so that I can continue doing them consistently over time rather than being chores that I have to discipline myself or motivate myself or willpower myself into doing. There are a lot of different reasons why this is the way it is, right? But I can go out and run 30 to 60 minutes without issue. I can go out and walk for 1 or 2 hours without issue. I can go out and play judo for an hour without issue. I can do, 200 kettlebell swings in 10 minutes with some effort. I'm not going to say without issue because that would be a lie. So I think the question here becomes more, where does that image of yourself actually come from? Where do you get the idea that healthy and fit looks a certain way? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever considered where your image of health and fitness comes from? Okay, let's do a little bit of core here. Since we have our feet up on the ball anyway. always fun, always good. All right, I'll do just a little bit of core exercises, and I'm going to call it a day. Jiguzi, thanks for dropping by. Hope you're well. Yeah, good for you. I think that is exactly what this is about, right? We need to show up. We need to do it ourselves. We need to find things that we enjoy, and we need to accept that within the limitations of life, there's only so much we can do. But things that we can do within those limitations, we probably should, because we're going to be better off for them. And these are relatively basic and simple core exercises, right? But again, the point is not for me to develop a six-pack. The point is to develop core stability and to be able to do the things that I want to do, like twist, lift, pull, push, for example, with judo, with other things, to be able to stand upright and to use that core to drive force and power through different movements. Working on my toe mobility here, by the way, just in case you're wondering what I'm doing. I know I'm going to do side planks, right? This big tree. Have 2 a week. See, there you go. 2 a week sounds very reasonable, but you are a very health conscious individual who's mindful of their health and fitness and who does kettlebells. Am I right? By the way, how's your friend, the personal trainer, doing? That we were talking about with Geese, I think a couple of weeks back. I hope he's doing all right. He and his family are doing okay. And the other side. Hoppa. And I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that changes soon. I hope that he and his family will be well as he's doing that. They're just rearranging some things here so that we can do this one, which obviously if you do kettlebells you know, but there I lost my headset, and back down. and also for exercises like this. It's important to realize that we need good shoulder mobility, all right, but also good core stability, and also good range of motion, also some cardiovascular fitness, because this one will definitely get the heart rate up. So, I'll get there in time. I'm going to do it on the left side as well. And again, this is not about building a six-pack. This is about building a functional core. That will allow me to do the things that I want to do in life. And you can just tell that the range of motion in this left shoulder is better than the range of motion in the right shoulder. Class 22, thanks for dropping by. And I appreciate you dropping by, saying hi, Class 22. I hope you're well, and I hope you're going to have a good weekend. That's it for this morning, friends. We could do more. We can always do more. But we've been at it for 36 minutes. And it is a recovery day. We did a heavy training day yesterday. So we also shouldn't want to overdo it. I see I'm sweating a little bit. So I'm going to switch things up. Then we're going to switch into podcast mode in the kitchen. We're going to talk a bit about health, fitness, and longevity before I go out for a walk. If that is something that you're interested in, you feel free to stick around, drop by, say hi, and catch me there. If not, I wish you a good Saturday, Sunday, good weekend, good Friday night. If you're still heading into the weekend where you're at in the world, be well, be safe, and remember, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. It's the person we are today is going to get us to where we want to be tomorrow. So a bit of kindness is going to go a long way, friends. The only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. Hit like, subscribe, help me get to 3,000 minutes of watch time if you want. Watch a video an extra time. Watch 3 or 4 of my videos if you're here on the stream right now. And let's push me over that watch time edge as we get closer to 1,300 subscribers on the channel as well. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll see you in the podcast, and otherwise I'll see you next time. Thanks, friends. Take care. Bye-bye. Kim Knight. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for dropping by, for saying hi. And I hope that you're having a good start of the weekend, and that your health and fitness journey is going where you want to take it. I appreciate you dropping by again and saying hello. And I hope you're doing well. Take care, everyone. And remember, subscribe. And remember, friends, here, subscribe.